Hi there, I'm Norma, Acquiesce Winery resident Somm, and I'm very excited to be part of this beautiful presentation today of our new 2019 Acquiesce Grenache Blanc that Sue Tipton, our guest today, owner and winemaker, will be telling a little bit about it for all of us.
Well, why Grenache Blanc, I guess, is the reason. Well, Grenache Blanc is our signature grape varietal. It was the first grape that we planted here at Acquiesce in 2008. The reason we planted it was because I had tried a white Chateauneuf de Pop wine that I fell in love with, and the major component of that wine was Grenache Blanc. When we realized how well Grenache Blanc grew on our vineyard here at Acquiesce, we were anxious to try it all on its own, and we found that it's extremely lovely. We make over 400 cases a year of Grenache Blanc. We've recently sold out of our 2018, and we're featuring our 2019 now. And Norma, why don't you describe some of the characteristics of this wine?
Well, Grenache Blanc is a full-bodied white rum wine that really is my go-to for many different types of dishes, just because it just has that voluptuous entry and great palate that just keeps going and lingering. So what I like about this particular 2019 Sue is the color is quite different, and usually hold a white piece of paper up to look at the color. I like to tip the glass sideways, and then I like to look directly into the glass to see. Actually, white wine is a little more difficult to analyze color, but if you look closely, you can see in this Grenache Blanc there is a tad of color variation. So I'm looking at a little bit of white in the center, and as it goes out to the rim, which is where it meets the glass on the inside of the glass, it has almost like a tint, a little rosy tint. What would you call that, Sue?
Yeah, I'd say it almost has a copper characteristic to it, the color. And the reason it has this color this year is that we kept it on the lees, Sur Lie it's called, for a 6-month period of time. And I think you'll find that it has given the wine a richness that maybe it hasn't had in the past. And we're finding this little baby, only a few months old, has really been showing well.
Oh, it's changing all the time, as your wines do, and they get more and more exciting, more and more complex, and I've found. So let's swirl and sniff. I think it's time. Really swirl that good. You can swirl a number of ways, as I pointed out in the previous Thursdays. You can swirl on a table, you can swirl in your hand. Any way that gets those aromas to volatilize and go up, and why is that? Why do you think that's good to swirl, Sue?
Well, we only can taste so many components, but we're able to smell over 1,000 different variations of aromas. And this wine definitely always has amazing aromas. And what's unusual about this white, you have these great, light, delicate aromas, but then you also have this big mid palate. So it's not just a light wine per se, it has a very nice body to it. And I think that's what makes it so enjoyable with so many different foods.
Absolutely.
So it's a great sushi wine, and it also is amazing with a ham and cheese sandwich. We had a chef who paired it with a steak tartare at a winemaker dinner, and I thought, oh, that's kind of a stretch, but it was lovely. And it's because it does have a great acidity to it. So it worked really well because the fat from the steak tartare was reduced a little in the pairing, and yet the roundness and full-bodiedness of the wine didn't fall short in the pairing. So
I'm going to make that tonight.
Oh, good.
All right, I have to grab a bottle. All right, let's talk about the nose right now. And this has just got a gorgeous, perfumey, it's very complex on the nose. What is this telling my brain? The only way you're going to find that out is by, again, swirling, and you tip your nose to the side a little bit and inhale deeply. And when I say that, I don't mean to, what I used to tell my students, bunny sniff, just little. I know we want to gulp this wine, But it really will increase your appreciation of it if you do swirl it a little bit and do some inhaling of those gorgeous aromas. So I'm getting, right off the bat, some really pretty spiced pear and apple. Spiced pear and apple, like an au jus pear. A little bit of citrus maybe, and the Somm classes that we've been preparing to be aired soon, I'll be discussing more about how do we learn how to differentiate between certain categories. When we say it smells like fruit, what kind of fruits? If it smells like citrus, what kind of citrus? It's not just a matter of using an overall category, but try to think of your own memory and experience of a particular fruit or of a particular citrus element like tangerine or orange, grapefruit. So start thinking in those terms, and that'll help you develop your vocabulary as well. And I'm getting a little bit of citrus on this. On the, would you say it's like a orange
Yeah,
peel?
definitely like a candied orange peel almost. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's what I'm getting.
And when I say on the back nose, I mean when I'm inhaling deeply and going up here.
there.
This is what is going to tell your brain, perhaps the enjoyment of what's going to happen on your palate. So I say we don't linger any
Please,
longer.
let's drink.
I'm really thirsty now. All right, let's taste it. Now, again, there are no taste buds in my throat. However, I can't spit this wine. I have to drink it. So wonderful. What's the first thing that you get?
Well, I think that the aromas of the orange is really coming through now on the palate.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I'm really getting that. Typically, the Grenache Blanc is more of a green apple characteristic, and it may go into that as the wine ages in the bottle. But right now, I'm getting almost a lychee, orange peel characteristic for this wine. And it's so unusual, again, because you contrast this citrus acid with the big mouthfeel on this wine. Yeah, so it's a really nice contrast in this
And it
wine.
also has, my mouth feels really creamy. So, you know, there are so many white wines that I've had in my past, I've had quite a few, that they're very one-dimensional. There's an entry, and that means what do you get when you first sip it, and you're like, oh, wow, this is going to be great. And then what happened to the wine? It kind of fell apart on what I call the mid-palate. And that's essentially just the middle of your tongue and your mouth around. And then the finish, okay, you forget already what you've had. And this wine is truly...
Still going.
It's still going and going. And I think it begs one to try it with our pairing today. What do you think? Are we ready for that?
Yes, so we're pairing it today with a little toast that has goat cheese and a little bit of violet flower confit on top. And so this is a typical pairing in the tasting room that we have with our Grenache Blanc. And the goat cheese obviously has a very big flavor, but the violet flower adds that floral essence that sometimes you can pick up in the wine. So let's try it and see, Norma.
Wow, sure. What should we do first?
I
Too late.
guess we will.
Well, we already have the flavors of...
So you taste first, which we did, and then you try the wine with the pairing. And definitely you can pick up the floral notes from the little violet pairing in this wine. And I think that's why it's so much fun to do pairings with wines, is that it improves the pairing. The pairing itself without the wine is not the same. And then it also improves the experience with the wine. So what do you think, Norma? Is it a good pairing?
Well, yes. Now, what is this? Goat cheese, which really has a lot of creaminess. It's not, there are some goat cheeses and chevres and whatever that are a little bit lighter, but this particular one, where did this...
This is a Laurel Chenel goat cheese that you can buy at the grocery store. But, you know, on its own with this wine is a really nice pairing. We sell the little violet flower confits here, so that's a nice added benefit to it too. But We've traditionally done it with goat cheese and Meyer lemon zest and fresh thyme, and on a little cracker to pair with the Grenache Blanc, and it's been lovely.
It is just delicious, the two. And I'm still tasting the Grenache Blanc.
Mm-hmm. Through it all.
It's just that full-bodied essence of this wine. It's just remarkable. So, okay, so we can tell our guests that they can purchase.
Yes. So the Grenache Blanc is available on our website at whitewinewinery.com for $26 a bottle. Our club members, of course, receive a 20% discount. And right now we're doing drive-through service, and we're open every day from 11 to 5.
Wow, that sounds good to me. So thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderful having Sue here. I think I'm going to give her a little clap. Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Norma.
And, enjoy your wine. Cheers. Keep swirling and sniffing.
Cheers.
Cheers.